All right. Good evening. Thank you, guys, for coming. And it's a beautiful Friday that we all gathered here for the Daniel Mwaka show. And I'm so excited that Mr. John Mading and Mr. Dominic Living Wawa is here. It's my first time meeting you, but Mading has been a long time friend. But I've not seen him for. I think the last time I saw him was in Addis. Yeah, and he took me somewhere and spoiled me a bit. So you're welcome for the show. And today um, you guys have been doing amazing job in the community. And I've been seeing for Mr. Mading, I've been seeing him doing a lot. And Mr. Wawa, I've heard about the orphanage, and I've heard about people trying to fundraise for it some few, I think, months or years back. Yeah, and I felt this is something that we should be able to do uh, to encourage some other people. Your story today will help somebody rethink his life or rethink how they are useful to the community. So before we proceed further, I just want to give you guys the opportunity to introduce yourself fully. Then we shall continue to have the in-depth conversation. The mic is here. Let's start with Mr. Mading.
Uh, Thank you so much, Danny boy, for having us in your show. I've actually been a good follower of your show,
Thank you.
and quite impressive discussions always ensue here. And I'm honored to be one of your guests tonight.
Thank you.
My name is John Mading Mabor. Um, I am currently the chair of board for Confident Children Out of Conflict, a center that was based somewhere here at the back of Old Saint Cathedral, but we move now to along the New Side Road. I think you are familiar with one of our many of our initiatives that we have
Yes,
been doing
yes,
there.
yes.
Maybe also to just touch a little bit of how I ended up being the board, because you say that we should really give full
Yes, fully,
introductions.
yes,
Yeah,
fully, yes.
yeah. So
Yes.
it was in 2017 when I first visited the Confident Children Out of Conflict center. I went there to just celebrate my birthday. And I mobilized my friends, and we generated resources, and we took them to the kids at the orphanage. From there, one of my friends made a remark and said that, we will be honoring this day and every now and then to be coming to the orphanage and donate.
Mhm.
So from there, we got inspired. We formed what we call the Forgotten Ones,
Mhm.
TFO, which is aligned to also the CCC. That's even before I became a board chair.
But
Yeah. So and then from there, I keep engaging from time to time with the kids at the center, and then I attended also the strategic planning workshop where they now the board members invited me if I could take up a board role, just be a member into the to the board. So I took up that because, of course, this is something that I love to do with no hesitations. So 2 years after the board chair term elapsed, and now there was a running for who to become the next board. And then I declared my intentions to be, and that was in 2019. Since then, I've been the board chair for the Confident Children Out of Conflict. Thank you.
yeah, thank you. Actually, that is leadership. This takes me back when we were at Yali, and he was making a speech. People started calling him Mr. President, Mr. President. So that's leadership. And for me, I
Thank
call him.
you.
I said, my future president. You never know because leadership starts from there. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
Yes.
you.
Let's go to Mr. Dominic Living Wawa. Just a brief introduction and what you do. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you so very much. Thank you for having me here.
You're
I
welcome.
am so much humbled, Mr. Daniel. As you have earlier on said it, It is my first time, and it is our first time meeting.
True.
My first time meeting you and
Yes.
meeting my good friend here that I've connected with today. My name is Dominic Living Wawa. Um, I am a former street boy who lived for a number of years on the streets of Yei, not until one day God sent one good Samaritan on my way who now picked me from the street and took me to his family. And it is after living with him for 8 good years that I have come to this far. I want to begin by saying this that I remember before going to the street, I went to the street as one who don't know even how to speak English. Why? Because I have that poor educational background of growing up as a child who have no access to education completely. I who speak here today I'm one of those who have not uh, written exams in primary 1, primary 2, primary 3, primary 4, and primary 5. I only attended primary school for 2 years, and then I found myself in secondary school. And
So you attended primary 6 and 7,
yes, primary 6 and primary 7.
and you really passed.
Oh yes, I passed.
Ah,
I
great.
remember I went to this law school. In the first school I joined is a school. It's a very small school. We were only 6 in the class. We were 6 in the class when I was in primary 6, and I had to top the class.
Wow.
Yes, which qualified me now to go to the next class, which
Yeah.
is primary 7, and then I end up finding myself in a very big school of a very big population. We were around 80 people in the class, and then with my broken English that time, it was not easy. By the way, yes, it was not easy
Yeah.
managing there. But thank God that God really helped me out from there, and out of that man's house, spending with him the 8 years. I remember when I was leaving his house, in 2014, I went back to him and I asked him this simple question because I know that I am now going to have a future. I'm now going to have a future because of the support that he have accorded to me. Living with him for 8 years, coming to his family, having no English, having no nothing, no future, no hope. And I remember asking him that very evening when I went to him after sitting for my South Sudan certificate of secondary education. I asked him, I said, man, I know that you have done a very good thing to me. How do you want me to repay you back for all the good work that you have done to me?
Yeah.
How can I pay you back? And I remember Sebi telling me that, Dominic, if you know that what we have done for you is important, we want you to pay us this way. Go out there and do the same to others, the same thing that we have done for you. And that laid a strong burden in my heart, which made me to flash back to where I come from. I came from the street. I came from this humble family, from this community, without opportunity to life, without an opportunity for clothes. That's why today, if you see me putting like this, it doesn't mean that I don't have what to wear now. But in summary, in just summary, I am today the founder and executive director for Kikiji National Orphanage Center, a home to 118 children, supporting them with education and all basic need that a child needs, that a young person needs to make life.
Yeah, I think you answered part of the question I was going to ask you. Why have you decided to come on the show dressed this way?
I'm dressing this way because I came from the street. I came from the street as a street boy. I was not having access to clothes. Those days when I was on the street, I was not having access to shoes. I moved barefooted for many, many years. By the way, I put on new clothes in 2010. 2010, that is the first time that I have put on a new cloth that someone A stranger, a man that I've not forgotten his name, he was called Bruno, a Ugandan man who bought clothes for me, new ones, and the shoes. That was the first time. But those days on the streets, I used to pick clothes that are thrown outside to put on. I used to put on people's clothes, and the only clothes you have, it's your blanket, it's what you use for covering, it's everything. It's everything because you don't have even a changing clothes.
Yeah.
And I cannot really speak about my life right now without throwing back, without seeing back to where I come from. That's why when I put like this, it's just, I'm just trying to see back to where I've come from, and seeing the power of change and the power of community support that is able to transform and that is able to change my life entirely. Today I have suits that I put on. Today I have shoes that I put on. But I'm putting like this as well as a reflection to easily tell us that we have number of children in the streets, in our community, who don't have access to clothes, who don't have access to shoes, who don't have access to education, who don't have access to basic need.
All right, thank you. Your
Yes.
story is a story of hope, and I know you are going to inspire. You're already inspiring a lot of people and giving back to the community. I think that was a powerful word that Mr. Sebit gave to you. So I want to go to, and this is the reason why I asked Mr. Mading that Mr. Dominic Living Wawa has to be on the show, because you are almost doing the same thing.
Oh, yes.
Maybe just give the mic to Mr. Mading. Mr. Mading, I've seen the work that you've been doing. There was a time you brought the kids to Dr. Biar for your birthday. I was there, and a lot happened. Their life has changed, and I just want you to tell me what really inspired you to start giving back to the community. And I also read somewhere, I think you posted that some of these kids have graduated actually from a medical training. So we can elaborate more on that. What really inspired you to start giving back to these kids? I know you're not a rich man, but what really motivated you?
Thank you. You know, I grew up in a good family. I have to say that my father was able to provide everything that we need as a child. I never lacked. Um, I was I was taken to a good school. I was taken care of, even my siblings and all that. But there is something that I saw from my father and my mother, that our house used to be a very big house back in the days in Maridi. And we come from a different community from, let's say, Lake State, from Yerul. And then at that time there were no so many houses in that area. It was the time of the liberation and all that. But I saw that in the house, which was started by my mom and dad, we had so many people from different background staying with us under our roof, and my mom could do everything for them. And my dad will go out there and find everyone that is not having anything and give to them, because he had a big shop. And so in that moment, I was inspired. Growing up, he became my role model. And to an extent, I was copying every single thing that he was doing. So when I went for the first time for my birthday, they are now interacting with these kids, looking at their plight. I was really moved. This is one factor. The other factor is that when I went with my friends, I think it's God given. I don't want to say it's a talent, but I mean it's something that God has given me, that I can easily mobilize my friends together to do something, to give back. This is a trait that I really took advantage of, and say, regardless if I do not have enough, but if I can call Dominic Living Wawa, I can call you Danny, I can call anyone within my circle, and they can turn up and put our hands together and give back to the needy. That is my drive. That is really my drive, and that what keep inspiring me. That what keep motivating me doing what I do today. Yeah, and going back to the second item on the kids that are now graduated. It's again back to 2017, and I'm glad to have even some of them here. There is Lizzie here who graduated, I think, 3 years ago, Lizzie, or 2 years ago, 2 years ago, from Uganda, and she's been here, and now she was working. In fact, you remember I ran a story looking for a job for her. If well wishers are there, and people turn up. Luel Manyang, if you can remember, came up because she did fashion and design. So Aluel came out and say, "Hey, link me up to Lizzie." I linked them up, and they have been since then. Lizzie has been working with Aluel in a store, and then now we have about more of them, almost 20 of them that have finished, and they are here in Juba.
20 of them.
Yeah, even more than 20, I think. It's more than 20 now. Yeah, and these kids, at the time, I also working with the government, and you can see how I really link to support them here, because when they were going to Uganda, they were going as children. They were really children. They were not grown up, and they needed documents to travel. They needed passports. They needed also someone to sign on their behalf so that they can cross the border. I also, part of my job was to make due diligence to see if they are really safe or not. Yeah, until I also visited the where they lived in Uganda. So I facilitated ensuring that they go to school and they are only attend to their education. So now when they are back now, we have the challenge of incorporating them back and trying to give them some little things to do so that they can sustain themselves. This is where now the challenge is. And this is actually why I am on this show, to still amplify the call for support towards these kids. They are not off yet. They're not off the hook yet. They finish education, but they need help. They're still within. They need our support, so that they can get something. They can sustain themselves. They are children with no proper parental care, and some of them have single parents, maybe a mother, a surviving mother, but now these are old people, and they need to be taken care of. So they have to come back and integrate. Otherwise, we risk having the circle of them going back to the street again, and then become frustrated and seeing life with no purpose. Yeah, exactly. That's what keep inspiring me.
Wow, this is really amazing. And of course, you have done a great part of educating them. Now we need to see that with their education, what can they offer? That means somebody should be able to provide for them with job opportunities so they can offer, give back to the community as well. And it's really, and what I've picked, you're coming from a good family where your parents could provide, and they have given you a proper upbringing. And we see the issue of the Niggers group, the Torontos. I think most families are breaking apart right now, and when the family breaks, it distorts the children, and that affect the children when they grow up in a very nasty behaviors, start having nasty behaviors. Not all of them, some of them get to realize that late, and they change. So let me go to Mr. Dominic, living Wawa. You have been a street boy. Let me say a homeless child.
Oh, yes.
How many years did you spend on the street?
Nearly 2 years.
Nearly 2 years.
Yes.
What were the things that you have seen happening on the street that you want to share with us?
Oh, the street is a very bad place to be in. Very, very bad place. I remember I remember the first night that I was on the street. That first night, being on the street with no food, with no family. That I mean someone that is there for you. I remember that first night on the street. Fear swallowed me up, because that is the first time going to sleep without something to cover with, sleeping with no protection, sleeping with no hope at all. Because I remember that time my heart always, can I say, jumping, because you could hear at time people move. You have uncomfortable sleep. But above all, tough questions had been coming to my mind. Like questions like, what if I die here? What if I die here? And then again, having questions like, is there really someone who is going to pick me up from here? Who is going to come to my rescue? You see, those things are coming always. I have a lot of questions that had been ringing in my mind when I was on the street, but living the whole night, finding that there is nobody coming on my way. As I continued the next day, because I remember before going to the street, I stole a jacket, my cousin's jacket. I stole and I went with it to the street. And then living for around 3-4 days, things were a bit hard. I had to sell that off.
Yeah.
I sold it off. And then life became tough. Very, very tough. Not until I was forced to become a thief.
Yeah.
I started stealing on the street, though I was not caught. In all my stealings, I was not caught. And then stealing became part of me. And then bad thoughts started coming to my mind. I had to attempt committing suicide on the street. I thank God that the branch of that tree did not accept it to take my life. I had to break off, you see, not knowing that God had planned for me, because hopelessness hit me so badly. I realized that no, I had no life at all. I had a lot of thoughts started coming to my mind, wishing to grow. I wish I should grow very fast so that I become a soldier. Why to become a soldier? I was crying for one thing, gun, because I knew that time in our village, people are there that once they have gun, they are feared and they can shoot people. And I want to become a soldier.
They can use the gun for robbing people.
Not robbing people. I want to go back to our community, to our family.
So that the
And,
people can
and
fear
I
you.
want to, not people to fear me. I want to go back to our family and they shoot down everybody that I know, because I see that they are the reason as to why I'm
the
suffering.
bitterness and anger, resentment. In your
Yes,
heart.
anger was now in my heart. And I was now wishing. What made me to continue living on the street is that hope that I am going to grow very
just
fast.
to get from there, you went to the street. Were you having your parents or not?
No, I was. I have my mother, but I was told that when mama gave birth to me, 3 months later, my mother became mentally ill. She ran mad.
Sorry.
And then when mama went mad, it was very hard. Nobody thought that I'm going to live. In fact, this is where I got the name living from. And then so many people, because we were also taken to the refugee camps in Congo, so many people thought I'm going to die. But I thank God that I was told that my uncle's wife now took care of me, and she was breastfeeding me. She gave me her breast that really have helped me. And then when my cousin came back from, because we had one cousin who was taken to Uganda, I think, for studies. When he came back, I heard that he loved me. He could carry me around during when I was still young, and then he could whisper those words, the living. If people are getting worried about my life, as if I'm going to die, and then he will always be speaking, oh, this boy will leave, this living, you are leaving, you will leave. And then people started saying, do you want us to call this boy living? People started calling me living there, not knowing even the meaning of the name. I can easily say that maybe God have spoken to my cousin, whispering to him that this boy is going to leave and things like that.
This is really touching. And in your book that you have written,
but little bit about my father. I've not seen my father. I had that my father, because my mother went with my pregnancy to their home, and things like that. And I grew up not knowing my father.
Up to today.
But I heard that he is a soldier, that he was a soldier. He went to the soldier work, things like that. But growing without really seeing my parents and not having that parental love. And that, but I end up in the age of when I was told that when I just grew up, I was taken to my older grandparents, who now took care of me till that age of around 10, 11, 12 there. That's now before I went to the street. But leaving grandfather's house was poverty. poverty was one of the things. I remember my grandmother could struggle even to get for us food to eat home. So much hard. I remember one day when I came home, I found grandmother. Sorry. I found grandma. I came home, I was hungry, very hungry. And grandmother started whispering alone, blaming my mother. Was blaming my mother. How comes that my mother will give birth to a child whose father is not there? It was not known. And then throwing back to myself, seeing myself growing up in that suffering, growing up without education while other children go to school, getting these bitter words from people around. I just looked at myself. There is no need to stay home again. I decided to leave home and I came to
Yeah,
the streets.
there are a lot of people that
Yeah.
left home not because they want to, but situation forced them to leave the house
Oh, yes.
with the hope that they will find a better way of survival outside there.
Oh, yes.
And I'm just going back to your book that you have written is Growing Up Without My Parents. And I quote what you have written here that God, I whispered in Kakwa, if you still remember my name, tell my father his son has tried.
Oh yes, that sorry. That is the last day prayer I had to pray for myself when I am about to take my life. When I was about to take my life. When I've already tied the rope to take off my life. And then I was speaking to God in my local language because to tell my father whom I've not seen the reason as to why I want to take my life. Just because I was trying all means, things were not working, and hunger want to kill me, and I was before hunger could kill me, I should better take my life off.
Yeah, and yeah, you still have a lot of future ahead of you and hope. And with the name living, you're still living, and you are making more people to live by creating an orphanage where you're supporting 100 plus young people. And this is not a joke. This is something that is very huge that you're doing. And also, I know thinking about suicide. I think last month, if you guys have checked the media, they said over 20 plus people committed suicide within a week. I think it was 12, not 20. Within a week, that is in Juba alone, out of frustration. And I know some of them committed suicide because they're going through the same thing that you're going through. So, and I'm very excited that I'm talking to you young people that are really transforming the society. It's not the people that you are helping. And I know Madding very well, the people you're helping is not coming from your community. They're not from your family members. These are people that you felt like you should help them. And this brings me to a question, and I want to take this to Mr. Madding, because what you're doing, it's really great. And I would say, what role do our local leaders and youth-led initiatives that both of you are doing play in driving sustainable development in South Sudan?
Um, there are a number of things that we do, honestly. And maybe just to start from where you mentioned that in the last few months we have been experiencing a lot of suicide cases, people that are killing themselves because of the economic situation, or can be linked to so many factors. Um, you know, people are going through a lot in our country.
Sure.
Even those that are having families, those that are having their parents, they're all there. They're going through a lot. Leave alone the kids on the street. The kids on the street, you can just imagine their situation. Honestly, those records are even, I would say, they are underreported, because it could be even more than what we are seeing on the media now. What we do normally, and this is something that I've seen so many young people have been doing. For example, the Anataban, the youth-led initiatives that they have been doing over the years have been really very successful in driving economic changes for young people. They have led peace initiatives, local peace initiatives before, and was successful in Jongle, in Greater Pibor, and so many other places that they have been to. And there are also what I think should we should even do more now is looking at economic empowerment of these young people. How
Yes.
do we make them earn something? For example, putting it in a vocational schools. Brax South Sudan used to do that. I
Yes.
don't know. I lost track of if they still do that. But these are things that organizations such as UNDP can easily pick up, because we want to have the young people do something for themselves. You know, the type of schools we have only prepare us for jobs,
Mhm.
which is not sustainable. It's not enough. If we have schools that teach us on how to do carpentry, for example, tailoring, or our agribusiness, these are the things that we need now. And just to tell you an example of what we have been doing as well as Liverpool fans, as my passion in doing that, and with my Liverpool group as well, we are actually planning to put in a vocational school, and this is something in a long term plan that we
Great.
are
Great.
selflessly going to contribute towards it. Buy land, put that place out there for young people to go to it, so that they can learn carpentry, they can learn tailoring, they can have something that they can do for themselves. You know, uh, things have changed now. Things have changed now from white collar jobs
Yeah.
to really hands on job.
Yes. Yes.
These are things that we need to prepare our young
Yeah.
people to,
Yeah.
including the kids that lack proper parental care.
Mhm.
Um, if they have access to that, which should be free, and I was talking to Dominic Living Wawa earlier, before the show started, and he's also doing something similar. They bought land and they're trying to put up a school so that voluntary people can easily come and say, listen, I am here, I'm living in this place, and I'm free. I think I can take this class for this period,
Mhm.
and this is what we want to do exactly with the vocational school we are trying to do. So our call out there is for young people to look at themselves and mobilize, because even in the community the young people need to contribute. They
Yes.
can even
Yes.
as well call in their the elderly in their community and say, listen, we want to do ABC. I have the resources, probably I can mobilize people, but I still cannot get land.
Yeah.
But within the community, if the young people can take this initiative, because the philanthropic work
Yeah.
is not only for people who are coming from outside, even us, we can do that within our local community. And then we say, ask for a land, and this land is given. Then we look for resources to develop the land. Everybody should play a part.
Yeah. And this brings me to saying one of the great quote from, I think, Abraham Lincoln. He was saying, "Don't ask what your country can do for you, but what can you do for your country?" And most people always blame the government. Always blame the government. The government is not doing this, not doing that, is not doing this, not doing that. But you guys, you pass that. You say, "What can I offer?" I think everybody should start asking that question. What can I do to transform the life, even of one, two, three people, and that's enough. And I think Mr. Madden, you're doing this. Mr. Dominic Livingwawa is doing this. Just imagine if those who have the resources, that those who have a lot of money in this country, we know them, a lot of money, but you have never heard a story that they are investing in young people or trying to take care of the orphans. What do you think is the barrier? What is stopping them from doing exactly what you guys are doing? Because they have the resources.
I think the thing is here, it's if you don't have the heart of humanity, no matter how much resources you have, forget about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because for them, they're looking at different things. For us, we are looking at uplifting everybody. If this is my level, I want to bring someone to the same level as I am. So for this, so many people, maybe also is the lack of compassion towards another fellow human being,
Yeah.
or is they are not even aware. Okay, they are not even aware that they can do much with the resources they have.
Yeah.
As I mentioned earlier, I don't need to only be the only person giving out, but if I can bring everyone to put in the little they have,
Yeah.
that is it. That is what it means. And then also our people, and this is something we continue to do, is to instill or to cultivate the culture of selflessness, to give back.
Yes. Yes.
And doing that is by example. for example, if I am doing this and I try to put that actually on media most of the time to inspire others, you see.
Yeah.
So and I've seen it started coming now.
Yeah,
It is started coming.
Yeah.
You can see also, and I want to commend the first daughter actually for what she's doing as well on charity.
Yes.
She has picked that up and putting water
Boreholes
access to
in
people
schools,
and
yeah.
here and there.
Yeah.
This is exactly what should be done, and I'm really grateful for what she's doing. And I think many people will follow. I know there are others that are doing that and they don't want to have a camera on it, but I would want to say continue to do that as we inspire others.
Yeah, and I think having a camera, and a lot of people say when you are doing something, leave the camera in the house. I think
That
it's
is not
a
true.
different, because you are doing this, you want to inspire people so that somebody can say, okay, if this one can do, why can't I do it? So it just inspiration. Now, as we are about soon concluding, we're left with a few some few minutes. Tell us about tomorrow's game between Liverpool and Arsenal, and fundraising drive that is happening tomorrow.
Tomorrow we will be playing Arsenal. Actually, that's on Arsenal fans' request. If you
So they requested you guys.
yeah, if you recall, we had a charity event on Sunday, last Sunday, where we donated a lot of items to the children at the hospital. And Arsenal fans requested us to participate in this charity drive. And we couldn't turn it down. It's just it was a short notice, but then for us as Liverpool fans, we were ready to do so because it is something that will give back to the community. So tomorrow's match is going to be Liverpool fans in South Sudan versus Arsenal fans in South Sudan. It's going to be in Bullock, and the main purpose is to generate resources that we can use towards the vulnerable members of our community. And it's going to be massive tomorrow. This is not the first thing that the first event we have done. We have done it several times as Liverpool fans. We have done it together with Arsenal, where we donated to the elderly people. We have done also with the community in Kupere. They were affected by flood and displacement at some point in 2021, where we team up with the community. We had a football match. We generated resources, buy food items, buy mosquito nets, and send them to that location. So we even expand as far as other areas across South Sudan.
Yeah, and I saw your prediction. You're saying Liverpool 5, Arsenal 1. What if you guys lose tomorrow, the game of tomorrow?
Last time we lost, actually. We lost, but the goal wasn't, what happened is that I scored. I scored.
Yes.
And then the game was 2-2. And then in the last minute, we had to put the female colleagues to participate. So you have to have at least one female colleague per each team. So then Amy Lasso, our female captain, she hit the ball and hit the post and went back. But then the referee was a Manchester United fan. And then they brought a phone. Somebody was taking a video and said, listen, look at it. It was a goal. Then he blew and said it's a goal. So that's how we lost. But tomorrow,
we hope it won't happen.
Tomorrow is not going to happen.
All right.
And I believe that we are going to win tomorrow.
Great.
5-1.
Great. Okay. I'll be there tomorrow with some of my team. Will be there tomorrow.
Thank you.
And let me go to Mr. Dominic Living Wawa. This is a book I'm yet to read. But I just went through and I saw it's a very interesting book. And I encourage everybody, if you get the opportunity of buying it, you buy and read. This is a living example of perseverance, passion, and resilience that you have. So tell us about briefly about the orphanage you're running, some of the challenges that you're facing, and what do we have in this book?
Thank you so very much. And I want to say thanks for, again, the platform. You have really expounded a lot of things that our country needs. I can tell you, Daniel, that right now, the words of Barack Obama are living. I can quote from what he says, that we are the very people we had been waiting for to make America great. And I want to phrase that by saying that we are the very people we had been waiting for to make South Sudan great, to save South Sudan from the current situation. Look at the streets of Juba today, full of young people, full of children. I was talking to the director of religion affairs, Mr. Moses Tally, Honorable Moses Tally. He was telling me that last year they just made an assessment. They found out that in Juba alone, just on the street, we have more than 10,000 children on our streets of our city. Not in Juba alone. Today, go to Wow is another case. You cannot eat, serve food, yes, and they go and they wash and they come. You will find the food is gone. Who are these children? These are not just figures. These are stories. These are children who have that thought that I was having by then. These are children that if we have not saved them now, tomorrow, they will be the same children who will come and disturb us. These are children that are going to grow as young people. These are children that are going to put the future of our country in a stake. Therefore, that calls for action.
Yes.
That is why he have stepped in. This colleague here, he's an engineer, Thomas.
Yeah.
Engineer Thomas, how did I met him? Engineer Thomas. He visited Ye. When he visited Ye, he came to our center. When he came to the center, he found the kids. The kids that we have there, today we have identified their talents and they developed their talents. They are very good in acrobats and gymnastic performances. In fact, when they performed for him and he went with the fiancé that time, he picked interest and they say, wow, no, we're going to wait very soon and we're going to bring you to Juba. You see, to perform during my wedding. Yeah. And that's how he ended up being part of what is happening today in Kikiji. And in Kikiji today, he is one of our big donors. You see, supporting at least
thank you, engineer.
One kid from there.
Nice.
Therefore, that means that we ourselves can cause a change. Having him here now, he visited an orphanage center and then realized that, oh no, there is something I can do. And today, he is full into it. Therefore, this is just an invitation. Any invitation to everybody watching us, to everybody listening to us. If you don't know what these children go through, I want to invite you, make a visit, just like my colleague here have done. Maybe God will communicate to you muchly. Yeah. Today in the Kikiji National Orphanage Center, we support these 118 children with no international support. I use local resource mobilization, mobilizing resources locally from our own South Sudanese young people who are working now, who are sharing part of their meal. Someone will say, no, today I will not drink 3 bottles. I want to offer 1 bottle. To support a child, go to school. To support a child, have food. To support a child, at least have something to cover with. We use local resource mobilization. Whenever I come to Juba like this, I knock doors of many people. Today, as I leave, some people fear my calls. When they see my call coming, it's as if, oh no, another disturbance is coming. But all that I can say is knocking at individual doors. People should begin to wake up and channel their resources towards developmental things. Sebi who helped me. That is Sebi. It's just like Madit. It's just like my colleague engineer Thomas here. Sebi was not having much. Do you know what Sebi did for me? Very simple. Sebi picked me from the street to his family. Sebi's children were not going to school. Sebi was one venerable person as well. But what he did to me was he offered for me shelter in his home. And then he was a pastor. And then just mentoring me up. He have never paid for me school fees one day. Even he have never bought for me books. Even don't talk of clothes. Nothing. He offered for me only shelter and then a mentorship. That is all that he offered. Why? Because he did not have the cash.
Yeah, and I like that. Yes. Most young people today, when you say, I want to mentor you,
yes,
they will think of money.
They will think of money. No. That's why I want to make a point that necessarily for us to help ourselves, for us to help the young people, does not necessarily focus on money. Support is not only money. We can support with the words. We can support with the visit. A number of things that comes along that can cause an impact and can cause change. Today, Bruno helped me only with the shoes and the clothes. And up to now in my book, I have captured his names already in the book. Therefore, as an orphanage center who is currently taking care of these children, what are the challenges? Many challenges. I'm telling you, my brother Daniel, it is not an easy thing to run an orphanage center in this country. I have moved, I've connected with some orphanages. It is not an easy thing. Taking care of that child who depends on you entirely. If he is hungry, he sees you as if you have. For him, he think you have everything. You have everything. Now, like us, who don't have, is still a donor that really donates us. Today, as I speak to you, the 118 children that we have, we only paid 60% off their school fees for this term. In 2 weeks' time, they are going to sit for their exams. The 40% is still unpaid. Are you seeing that is one big challenge of support. And then, though we are trusting God to see that He opens doors so that we are able to bridge that gap, that very gap. For 5 years, today down the road, the Kikiji National Orphanage Center, we still were unable to make what? To make, to get that potential donor that helps us. Why? That rolls back to network. That's why I want to say that as young people, we should begin to build platforms that can allow us network. Today I came and I met him and he was like, oh no. And we had already developing what network and channels on seeing how we can help other initiative. I know there are other many people just like me, like him, like many others who are doing great things in this country, but because they are not, put out to the surface. We need platforms like this that will enable young people to communicate what they are doing, so that maybe it will help connect with other people. Today, go to my media platform. I use entirely my social media platform for resource mobilization to help what? The children. But it's still on that, it is challenging, of course.
Yeah. We pray and hope that those who will be watching this will reach out to you. Later, you will ask for your details and
Yes.
for Mr. Mading as well.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody is willing out there who say, no, this year I might clear the school fees, or I have this to give, I have this to do that. Now, going back to that, let me go to Mr. Mading. It's our time. We're left with less than 7 minutes.
Maybe
Yes.
to touch on the book.
To touch on the book.
Yes. Why I've come with this book? I've come with this book. I had to devote 29 months of writing. Up to date, I write using pencil. Why I write using pencil? Because going back to where I come from, I have that low background and writing at times, things like that, so that some spellings I'm able to correct and things like that. I devoted myself for these 29 months to write down this story. This book, after writing it, I have seen that it is not just my book. I had to devote myself to read this book. I read the book now 37 times. This book is full of hope. This book is full of information, knowledge of what the children in this country go through, the other Dominics go through in this country. And then this book provides solutions on what we should do as a country that will help other children come out from that state. I've realized that the children we have here are having energy. Yesterday, I made a visit to the former Vice President, Dr. Waniga, in his office. When I presented the book, I was shocked when he told me, oh, Dominic, I was once an orphan. I lost, and in fact, a total orphan who lost his parents when he was still 2 years old. And then thank God for the auntie who skipped in, who jumped in and took care of him. And who can believe that these people that we see as if they don't have that, they really have something. Therefore, we are gearing towards the book launch, this book launch, which is full of information. To me, I found it that this is one of the ways that can communicate so easily what I really feel that we should do for this country, so that we will have a lot of Madiks, so that we will have a lot of people, even like you, that will help put up certain other thing that will come to bridge the gap. Therefore, this book is going to do 3 things. Number 1, this book is going to spark in a conversation about what the young people go through in this country. Number 2, this book is going to act as a platform to bring key stakeholders together, because this needs collective responsibility from the government officials, from the business community, from the NGOs, from the influencers, from the religious body, to see that we have a role to do. The church should begin to wake up to know that no, it is not about preaching, but we have a role to do in helping the community socially, economically, so that we are able to bring up people that tomorrow, as they pray, they are also able to cause change in this country. And then as well, lastly, to see that whosoever is going to get a copy of this book, you're not just getting a copy, you are sending a child to school. We are going to put a price tag on the 30th. And how I pray that next time you will give me as well the platform.
Definitely.
To come as well
to
speak. Because we are going to put a price tag,
Yes.
so that anyone that gets the book, you are not just buying a book. Out of what you are buying with, is going to put a smile in the face of another person. It's going to change a story. It's going to allow a child to sit in class. I know what it means to stay without not going to school. I know what it means.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Definitely, I will have you back on the show. Mr. Mading has an engagement, but in just 2 minutes, Mr. Mading, how can we work together with the international organizations, the donors who are so much money is coming in this country? All these organizations have a lot of money. How can we work together to ensure that they are part and parcel of this great work that you two are doing?
I think the international organizations that are here now have worked with so many people before. And I would like to think that some of them have lost a bit of trust in what these kind of organizations do, especially charitable work. There are so many, the job we do here is really coming from our heart. And I will want to say the same about my brother here. You can see how he was really elaborating on his story and what inspired him until where he is now. But also, there are people out there that are doing this for their self gain. This is a fact.
True.
And I experienced this firsthand when we went to one of the orphanage. We donated items, and then the next day we went to visit, and the items are not there in the store.
They moved their homes.
Yeah, they're not in the store anymore because the people that are in charge actually use them for their personal things. They're being taken to the market. You see, this has caused a bit of mistrust, from the UN, from the NGOs, and all that, those that are working in this field. But now it's time to rebuild that. And I was also saying this to Dominic Living Wawa earlier, that the relevant international organizations need to go to the grassroots and find partners that are genuinely doing this.
Yeah.
For example, what he's doing now in Yei, if one of the let's say Plan International, which has been doing in schools, because he's already doing that, this is one of the international organizations need to be approached. Okay, because they have been constructing in schools here.
The Girls Education South Sudan.
Yeah, Girls Education South Sudan, exactly. This is another one that needed to be also. So again, even UNICEF, exactly.
yes,
Thank you. Yeah,
yes.
exactly. UNICEF also is another one that does that. In fact, UNICEF has been working with us all this time with CCC, and they have been really supportive and paying in school for these kids. But now also present another different challenge. The challenge is now with the current wave in funding issues that are affecting UN, international organizations. Things have become very, very tough. But nevertheless, I think it's also upon ourselves as people working in this field to really put ourselves in a position where they can be able to support. I know there is a mistrust already, but then if we approach them in a different way and engage them from now and then I think we can be able to get some fun. We just need to bring them all the way to where we are and encourage the fact that they can visit these places and see with their own eyes. Then the money is really directed towards the needy. This is the challenge we have here. Yeah. But of course, it can always be rectified. And the stories such as this one can always change the perceptions of the INGOs, and they can be able to provide
Yeah.
support. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. And yeah, for me, what I can, it's not a promise, but this is something that God's willing, I'll be able to do. We have a lot of people that come to the center, and we have some people that we can talk to. Maybe before the year ends, we can do a fundraising event. We can organize a concert or anything here. And maybe if you can bring two or three, some of the kids who are talented, they perform here, then we can get some money that can support them. This is what we can do. I wish I have all the money then. Yeah, I'll be able to do that. And just Mr. Madding, thank you so much. I know you as somebody have a big heart for people. And I pray that God bless you guys and open more doors. Somebody was sharing with me how the money that we misuse here in the name of donors, the people that give the money, these are all women who are knitting blankets. You see, so the old women in America, they sit, they go through a lot so that because they believe in giving, they donate $2, $3, and when this money comes here, people think, okay, they don't use it for intended purpose. They start doing things, living extravagant lifestyle because they have access to the money. But we believe that genuine people like you guys, when someone donates, the money goes direct. Also, we want to encourage the government. The government should step in. This is a primary, you're carrying a very big burden from the government. Imagine if all these 118 kids are on the street, what can they do? What are you are trying to solve a bigger problem that the government cannot solve. So we encourage that the government also should look into this issue and give you guys enough support. We have people in the government who have money. They can just step in and cover a lot of like the fees. I hope somebody will get to listen to this and say, okay, I'm stepping in to cover the cost of this, the school fees of these kids. So it's a pleasure having you guys here. And Mr. Madek, always, I feel like this convention have not exhausted it a lot. I think with time, we'll need to have enough time and talk about this and also have people around. For Mr. Wawa, if you are around, we have over 100 plus students that come here from Wednesday and Thursday. In the morning session, we have around 50 something. So if you have time on Wednesday, I want to invite you here and come and speak to these kids, because it's a story of hope. Some people are there that want to give up, but if they hear your story, someone say, no, let me stick to God, and there's hope always. So this is what I want to say. Mr. Madden has an engagement. I don't know whether we could take questions, but I think the time.
I think we can.
Okay.
We can take few questions.
Okay, can we take some? If you have
Yeah.
any question for Mr. Dominic Living Wawa and Mr. John Mading Mabor, if you have any question for them, please, you'll be able to. Yeah, just be brief because they have
It
engagement.
could also be a comment. I
comment,
mean,
it
yeah,
could be a
because
comment, yes.
because I have the two of them here.
Yes.
Is Stephen Kutura is one of the
Yeah.
the kids that actually benefited from the studies in Uganda.
Yeah.
Same as my daughter. I call her my daughter Lizzie. Yeah, so maybe they want to share also their life
Yes,
story.
definitely.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
is allowed. Yeah.
I'm Steven Kutura. So I'm not going to be, all that much, but I'll be brief. Indeed, Mading actually it's a very, very different community, and I'm from a different community as well. And all of us, we've been just in the orphans. Actually, for the first time I met him, it was in 2016. It was the birthday. So I think, that's how we got linked up. Then, after some times back, we were really, going through a lot because we wanted to get the passports and, wanted to get the passport and, get a way to go to Uganda. So in the way, we had a lot of issues here. So we could not access the passport, either the visa. So from there, he did that, and that gave me a very big question. I sat down and I thought about this because I could go to the office like several times. I remember the networks weren't working. A lot of things were not in the right place. Then after some times back, I could hear my phone ringing, come and pick your passports. Then we go get the visas. And this actually, let me say, there are a lot of other things that I don't want to talk about because he has really done this, and I don't think he's doing this because maybe he has money, maybe because he has that, but he's doing this because I've seen that it's the hope. You know, there are a lot of things that are not okay in South Sudan, and I know that there are very many things that happen outside there. But one thing I know is that we're not okay. And with us not being okay, it's okay not to be okay. So I don't need maybe the president to step up to do this, but this one person that has done something that is let me say beneficial to the community. I think this person has done what is supposed to be represent the whole country. So I'll dig deeper. I was in Uganda, then we're students that are from maybe villages and so on. So we have a lot of challenges. We can find out that the South Sudanese have a different culture relating to Ugandan culture. So when in school, we're facing a lot of problems. You can get in an issue, then you be told you need to be expelled. So at this point, even the one who's paying my school fees cannot tell me what to do at this point. Then what the next thing I could do is ring Mading. So then I'll be like, they wanted us to do this, they wanted us to do this, maybe, they are maybe, body shaming us, maybe they're abusing where we're coming from. Then this gave us a lot of disturbance. We're imagining seeing the whole life, it's good. Let me say the steps of studying is all okay. Then when for us to step in, it's a problem. So one thing I asked Mading is that what can I do at this point? Then what I realized that he told me, you know what? I think here, according to what we're living, is that we need to follow legislations. If the school says that you don't have to walk out of this time, you don't have to do that. If they say that we have to go to class at this time, I think you have to do that. I think this helped me, in the next life I'm living, to help me understand that if I'm supposed to do this, I'm supposed to do it. If I'm supposed to live this, I'm supposed to live it. There are a lot of things that it says that I don't want to repeat. Let me say it's a testimony that he has testified. He's doing this, he has been doing this, and he's still doing this. So it's not, I want to tell guys outside there, it's not that you have to have money to do this. You just have to come up and talk to any of these street kids. So talking to these street kids, maybe giving them the mentorship is the most important part of this, because when he was talking about maybe committing suicide, was there anyone telling him that you don't need to commit suicide, there's next life to live? Was there anyone to tell him this? Okay, this guy came up and told him this, isn't he living the next life he's talking about? So you don't need to particularly have money. Let me say, I will say that there are a lot of things that we're seeing in the community that are not okay. But sometimes we feel like the government should step in, but sometimes we feel like this one person that has stepped in has done a lot. So I will particularly say that I don't want to go deeper, because if you do, you know where to find us. Actually, I'm still volunteering at CCC. I came back. In the end of last year. Then I came back and I was around. Then I told Mading I was around. Then we had a couple of conversations. Then I told him that I'm going to be around. I need to be in school, but before I go to school, I need to go back to the compound and do something. And this thing I'm not doing because I'm getting paid, but because I'm doing it because I want to see them better. We're following footsteps. He's following his father's footsteps. So I'm following someone who's doing good. I'm following his footsteps. So this is what I wanted to know. Let me say.
Thank you. Yeah, just before Lizzie say, in fact, this goes to what we were saying before about mentorship. Mentorship is not only about resources. In fact, he was at the point where the donor that was paying him at school was about to raise their hand up and say, no. And this is just a kid. But for the donors, they can also be tired of you, when you are in discipline. Just like your kid, they can be in discipline, they can be suspended or dismissed from your school, but you don't give up on them. So I'm also happy that he listened to me. And that conversation, I think, was way back 2018 when we talked in Kampala. And they raised me and say, oh, Stephen is A, B, C, D. And given the background of these kids, you don't expect them to be really well behaved because they never really had parental care. So a kid that has been brought up in that manner, you expect them to react in a different way. So that's how I went to the school and talked to the school and told the school, these kids are not who you see here, you know, you know. So that's a good memory there. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Lizzie and I'm that poor child some years back on the streets of Juba. My story is almost related to Dominic's story, but the only thing that I didn't do is sleeping on the streets of Juba. I was sleeping under my mother's roof, but they could not play their role as parents. They were there both, but they could not provide what a child would have in the house. That's what led me to be on the streets of Juba. So in those years, I was on the streets of Juba. I was there just hustling, but to sleep on the street, I didn't sleep on the streets. So I was born into this family of four. We are four to my mom, and I'm the second last in the family. So I have both the parents, but they couldn't afford to do what parents would do to their own children. So I went through a lot as a child. I went through so many things that a child wouldn't go through. But by God's grace, let me say, someone from nowhere, from somewhere that I didn't know, just came on my way one time in my life and picked me from a place called St. Mary, if you know. I think it's where, Ambassador Hotel. That was an area by then. That was where we used to stay. Yeah. So that person came. At that time, that place, the area was demolished already, but people were still staying within the area. Like there are those people who do not have lands or plots to go into. So my parents were those people who were resilient. They wanted to stay where they were staying. So we were staying there, but they made these small recubas. So we were staying there. So one time I was among the people that were picked first into this organization of CCCC. So I was picked and taken to CCC. By then we were still in High Malakal. Yeah, that was a place that we were in first. But in that place, we would just come, like you come in the morning, then in the evening you go where you came from. When we come in the morning, we came to the place in the morning, we would do all the activities in the place. If it is going to school, we go to school. Then we come back and have our supper in the place. Then after the supper, they will tell us, go back to where you're coming from. You go, whether you have your parents, you do not have, just go and sleep where you're sleeping. That was the first privilege that I got. The first time I got the privilege, I was sent to school. It was really a surprise to someone like me. Going to school, it's not an easy thing to get someone who will just offer her own money to send you to school. So I was sent to school. I was so happy that I got this opportunity of going to school. So we went to school, but we would just go home. Like come very early in the morning, you will do the activities that you do for the whole day. Then when evening comes, we are being sent back to our communities. And most of us used to stay in Konyo. Those were the usual places that we came from. We could sleep under those shops in Konyo. Then in the morning, we just wake up and come. When we come in the morning, we bathe. I don't want to go through the process that we were going through, but we could. Okay, the only thing I could say now, when we come in the morning, how many have you seen these Omo containers? That was the only bucket you shower with people. When we come to the place, because the person that was supporting us, the organization was still new and she has not mobilized more funds for us. So the water that we used to have, we have to minimize every resources that we would have in the place. So when we come to that container of Omo, the small one, I'm not meaning the big one. That small container, you will use it for brushing your teeth. They put their water. It's the same water that you'll shower with it, the same water that you wash your pants with. That was the life that we began first. And it was something that's new. You know, you've been in the street, you don't have time to go to the river and shower or to the bathroom and shower. You only stay in the streets and you mind what you'll get to eat. So that was the kind of life that I used to have. So with time, God answered our prayers. We were given a place that we will call a home. So when we were given the place, they started constructing the place. But we would go there still and help out with digging out the grass, collecting all the unwanted stuff from the place. We put them where they're supposed to be. Like we contributed as the children. We also contributed towards the place that we are going to stay in. Like when we come in the morning, they would give us water to shower. After showering, there was someone that would do the activities of cooking. Because most of us, you know, when you're from a different place, there are things that you do not know how to do them. So someone was there in charge of food and stuff. She will do the cooking. The only thing that we used to do actually is to serve. Like we bring the food on the table. Even most of us used not to know how to pray. Like prayers was not part of us. You know, being on the street, we will not know so many things. But when we came to that place, we started knowing how to pray, knowing how to speak. You know, if you're from the street, there are things that you speak not knowing that you're saying them. Those were the things that we would speak. But our own mom never gave up on us. We were very stubborn people. Like where we were staying, we would make a lot of noise in the morning. You know, on the street, you're free to say anything you want. But once we were at CCC, there were norms and rules that we used to follow now. When we come, we have our blackboard that was there. So every mistake that you do, they put for you across. So if you do something good, they give you rascadis. That was what they could give us. It's called rascadis. So if you get all those rascadis from up to bottom, you win. Like they'll make you okay. By then they could say like you become a princess. That was the thing they would give us. So once you pass all the assignment, like you're being uplifted, everybody will smile and lift you up, say good things to you, like that, to motivate other people. So we keep on. There are things we got, like now we got to learn how to speak, we learn how to pray, how to respect people. Like there were so many things we were given. So we got the privilege to go to school. We did so many things. Even they would escort us to school, which some of people here in South Sudan, they've never been escorted to school. But me, I was so special. I got all the privileges that some of you here have never seen. But me, I got them. So they would escort us to school. When they're escorting us to school, they'll come along with sweets. Like we would sing along the road. It was so nice for a child to be happy every time. That was the life we were given, which is good. So we started knowing that if our parents were to give us this life that we are being given right now, it would be something different. That is good. So other things also about the food that we used to eat. We were eating leftovers, which is I'm not shy to say it, because this is what made me who I am today. That was the food that I used to eat. Of course, to some of you will think, she's looking very cute, very, very beautiful. But I've went through a lot to be the Lizzie today that people are seeing me. Even today, I became a flag bearer to some of the communities. When I walk, they'll be like, oh, the daughter of so-and-so is passing. Wasn't that the girl that we used to play with? We used to have fun in this place like this. But look at her, she's now someone different. So now I'm an example to the community. Once I go and see my mom, actually, people will not know that I'm a daughter to so and so. Like they get to be surprised to see someone like this coming to see this poor lady here. Yet I have my own siblings. So I was given opportunities to study and so many other things. We went to Uganda for John Mading. I actually met John Mading in 2022. Yeah, that was when I met John Mading. But I've been hearing John Mading, and people will talk good things about him. Even me too, I was feeling bad. How come from everyone I just see, who is this John Mading? So I was having that hope that one day if I meet John Mading, I must hug him or say something good to him. Mhm. So that day I met John Mading, it was even him. I was with him actually at Dr. Biar. That was my first time meeting John Mading. I met John Mading on that day. So that was when I got to know who is John Mading. So I was even telling him, oh, is that the guy that was saying John Mading? He's cool, man. I told him, like, yeah, that's John Mading. He wanted to say, I've never seen him. I'm like, I've never seen John Mading, but you guys always tell me John Mading, John Mading. That was the time I got to see John Mading. So far, I've seen John Mading 3 times. Yeah, actually, he's an inspiring person. Since that day, I just looked at him without even asking him. Or from the time that I've been saying all those so many things about him, I already had that image in my head.
Did you get a time? Did you get a time to say good things to him?
No, I never got.
Can you say it now?
But I'll tell him. So I started imagining. Like, I have those images in my head. This John Mading has done great to CCC kids. Actually, he comes every time and have things. Even came to Uganda. I never got an opportunity to see him because for me I was in a different level. Then for the kids that he came to see, they were also in different schools. So I never got any time to see John Mading. So the time passed, like, but next time better, I'll also see him. When I come to Juba, it's a must that I have to see who is John Mading.
Yeah.
So I got to see John Mading once in my lifetime, and I got impressed by his looks only, without asking him first. That was the time I started seeing John Mading as a father. Yeah. I started seeing him in that picture of being a father, responsible person, caring, loving. Like, there are a lot of things. If someone would say to John Mading, would be even more than mine. And to those people who are seeing me, or to the people who are going to listen to this story of mine, I'm the only girl in my family that has ever put on what? A gown. In my own family.
Congratulations.
Yes. Nobody in my family has ever put on a gown. It is only me. And I hope that even the one who is following me will also put on one day. We shall be two.
Amen.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Lizzie. Thank you. Yes, you see, this is inspiring. That's why I call him the future president. So let's work hard to become the president. All right, guys. Thank you. Because of time, allow us to end the show here. Mr. Mading has a commitment, and Mr. Iman, Dr. Dominic, leaving. Wow, thank you very much. As I said, if you have time on Wednesday, you come and speak to the youth here. We have over 70, I think 60 to 70. They come here for 2 hours. So that would be a good thing. You want to say something, Dominic? Okay, maybe in 1 minute.
Say something, Dominic. I wanted to help Dominic's kids, but I don't have money, Dominic. I can just help them with my hands because I'm good at doing things with my hand. Yes, I can teach them how to do things with me. Okay? Yes, that's what I can offer.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, Mr. John Mading, thank you so much for having this time with me. And by the way, you'll get this. You get this. We have very good followers on TikTok, and we shall upload this on YouTube, on our Facebook pages. So we'll get the recordings from there, and I will share with them the recordings as well. All right. Thank you. Can we just have a quick picture, then we can leave? Yeah.